Hey guys, welcome to another WoW Weekly with Myst. And for today's video footage, I am leveling my Cultirian. I've left her till absolute last as far as allied races go. So we are almost done with the allied races leveling. I've got two left. One I level on stream, one I level off stream, just so I have something I can do leveling wise when I'm not on stream. So I level her off stream, and then I'm currently leveling my Nightborn on stream. And then once these two are done being leveled, I'm done. Nightborn will actually probably be the last one, just because there's more off stream than on stream. So, I'll probably have this chickie leveled before. But finally started her, and I'm not a big fan of the Cultirian race, so that's why she was the last created. But that is today's footage. So for this week's events, on the topic of leveling, we still have the 50% buff, and there's no confirmed info on when this ends, but I'm just gonna say don't be surprised if it ends on the 25th. So take good advantage of it while you can right now, because once the pre-patch drops, it will end with that, because they're not going to give you a 50% buff to level your new Drakthar, because we will be able to level the Drakthar from 58 to 60 in the pre-patch. On the topic of that, we did get an end date for Season 4, and that is the 25th. So that is why I'm figuring we will have the pre-patch then, because a lot of the time they do have the pre-patch start as soon as the last season ends. There is a small chance that they wait a week, but I'm thinking, personally, I think it looks more likely, even more now. It looked likely that it would be the 25th when they dropped the Season 4 date for it ending. But now it looks even more likely, because if you look on your BattleNet, you will see that there is a huge downtime tomorrow for maintenance. We're going to have an 8-hour maintenance. And that will be the reason my stream goes a little late tomorrow. I usually start around 2-ish, and we're going to start probably closer to 6. That is because the servers aren't supposed to come up till 3 p.m. Pacific, which is 4 my time, and I'm used to there being delays, so I just put the stream to 6 just to be on the safe side. So because of that, I'm pretty certain that we will have the pre-patch on the 25th, or else they would wait an extra week to do this long maintenance. Chances are that maintenance is for the pre-patch. So, like I said, take advantage of the experience buff, because they haven't confirmed the pre-patch. I think they aren't sure, honestly. It's weird that they confirmed Season 4 ending, but not follow it up with the start of the pre-patch. I don't know if they're just assuming we would know that it's starting the same day. So I'm just gonna say it could be the 25th, or it could be a week after. No matter what, we're gonna know this week. I imagine that there's gonna be an announcement on Tuesday telling us when the pre-patch is, and I imagine it'll just say the 25th. But once that is confirmed, I'll let you guys know. I'll probably throw it on the community tab. And then, of course, if you just like to get your info out of the WoW Weekly videos, I will mention it, of course, next week. So there is that. The fated raid for this week is Sepulture of the First Ones. The PvP brawl is Shadowpan Showdown. Time walking is this week. It's going to be Kata. And Hallows End actually starts this week. And it's going to run all the way till November 1st. I have had everything done for over 10 years in Hallows End. Here's my achievements. They started around 2008, 2009, and then 2011 is when I like finished the whole batch to get the title. But Classic is out and achievements are out there now. And I was looking at my channel and I was like, because I finished these so early into WoW, I wasn't a creator then, right? I wasn't a creator in 2011. And yeah, so because of that, there are no Halloween type videos on the channel. In Classic, I could go redo the achievements and get the achievements there, which gives me a reason to actually do some Halloween videos. So I think that's what I'm going to do over there. For those that are still working on stuff in retail, though, this does mean a chance at Headless Horseman. So if you don't have Headless Horseman, it's definitely much easier to get it on retail nowadays than when I looted it, or even how you will loot it in Classic WoW. Because in Classic, you will have to roll as it always was intended. And I lucked out on the Headless Horseman. It was one of my first rare mounts, and I didn't even know about it back then. I was just doing the dungeon, and it dropped, and back then you had to roll on it, so we all rolled, and I won. So yeah, it was definitely, I would say, the first rare mount that I looted by accident, more or less. Not like it wasn't the reason I was running that dungeon. I was just running that dungeon to run it, So definitely go after that on retail. It is personal loot from your bag, and on Classic you roll for it. So on the topic of pre-patch, I thought we would go over some details. So the first one is the event. So the event is called Primal Storms. And basically there's 4 areas for this. The Earth Invasion happens in Northern Barrens. Fire Invasion is in Tirisfal. Storm Invasion, Ungoro Crater, and the Water Invasion is in Badlands. During the event, Primalist mobs will spawn in certain areas. They will be marked on your mini-map. Every 30 minutes or so, a mini-event spawns. An Elemental Lord will spawn with other mobs. And they drop a green item called Primeval Essence. The boss that you'll be killing, he's surrounded by a shield that is removed by killing 100 imbued mobs in the area. Once the shield is broken, the boss can be killed for loot and more essences. So what's the point of these essences? They are for you to more or less gear up, right? So if you're like pretty geared, this is going to be a very minor pre-patch event, and to be honest, they all are. Most pre-patches just have this one little event that you do for a bit and then you move on, right? So they usually don't really stick around. I think the only one I really focused was the one for Shadowlands, because there was a lot of transmogs you could collect, right, on all your characters. I felt like I was doing that event forever. But with this one in particular, the Primeval Essence will get you 252 item level gear. If you are a person into Transmog, there is these sets. So this is the Dragonflight questing gear, and this is the cloth set, the leather set, mail set, and the plate set. There's also a toy. It's called the Bag of Furious Winds, and it just says it vacuums critters for 10 seconds. This one will cost you 100 Primeval Essence. There's also a heirloom trinket. So this one isn't with that same currency. It actually, well, basically what you do is you craft it. And how you craft it is a material that drops off the rare drops. You're gonna need all 4. So the item's called Unstable Elemental Confluence. It's a trinket. It says your spells and abilities have a chance to usher in primal magic, dealing damage to enemies and buffing allies. In order to get it, you're going to have to do all 4 of those invasions, and each one has an item called the Dimmed Primeval, and then the last word will be depending on the invasion. So, Primeval Earth, Primeval Fire, Primeval Storm, Primeval Water. So you need to loot the Dimmed Primeval off of each one of those bosses from those 4 invasions. Once you have all 4, you combine them and you make your trinket. One additional thing I thought I would add into our pre-patch topic here is that Blizzard did announce that the tier sets from Shadowlands will be marked as a legacy loot with the 10.0 pre-patch, which means they're going to be disabled. Some Mythic Plus talk. So here is a chart that kind of shows you the item level of the dungeons, the dungeon keys, your Great Vault, raid drops and the difficulties they drop on, and Valor ranks. So this past week, people got to test out M+. The main reason for testing it is this new Affix, which is the Thundering Affix. I think it's going to be a little challenging in the beginning for people, for sure. Because basically how it works is 4 players are affected each wave. And if you don't clear your debuff from this Thundering Affix, the consequence of it is an 8-second stun that will more than likely kill you. I would say, at least in the beginning when you're gearing, 100% would kill you. And then maybe you survive it down the road once more seasons have come into play. But yeah, that is the Thundering Affix. I did kind of briefly tell you what the Thundering Affix was last week, but no one had been able to test it yet at that point. So basically, in a little more detail, Raszageth flies over the area, causing a bunch of lightning strikes, and there'll be swirlies on the ground, and you will get hit with a stun for 1 second and deal some damage. Once the storm is over, 4 players end up with that debuff. The debuff is called Mark of Lightning, and then 2 players will be debuffed with Mark of Wind. So basically 3 DPS will always get the effects. So all your DPS in the group are going to get an effects. 2 are going to get the Mark of Lightning, and 1 is going to get the Mark of Wind. The second Mark of Wind debuff goes on either the healer or the tank. It's randomly chosen. From testing, though, it looks like it has a high percentage to hit the healer instead. While the debuff is active, you deal 15% bonus damage, and if you touch someone with the other debuff, the debuff is removed. If the debuff times out, you're affected by Primal Overload, and this is what you're trying to avoid. So this is what's going to cause you to be stunned for 8 seconds and potentially die. Yeah, if the healer is not putting massive heals on you, you will 100% die from this. A couple of tricks to this one that you can do is you just stack and then you can kind of instantly clear it. That's one way to kind of, minimize the damage that the group would take. It is warned that, if you die, don't run back. Yeah, it's looking like you may need, a full wipe if a death is going to happen. The reason for this is because since the thundering procs, while you're running back, if you don't make it back in time, you'll die, and then someone else will die because they missed clearing the debuff with you. And yeah, like it can just potentially be a never-ending thing if people are constantly running back. And on the topic of loot again, the Great Vault. So this is the Great Vault we know of right now. And this is going to be the new one in Dragonflight. So you can see nothing's really changed for Mythic Dungeons, but they have lowered the amount for the raid kills and slightly lowered the rated PvP honor. Also, weapon illusions will apply to your artifact weapon appearances now. Okay, I have some more Transmogs to show you. So this is the Primalist Tomorrow Weapon and Shield Transmog set. This is the Blind Faith Agility Staff and the Strength One-Handed Sword. These are not confirmed, but very likely to drop out of the Court of Stars dungeon. And these next pieces are, again, not confirmed, but likely to drop out of the Hall of Valor dungeon. And that is the crossbow. This is the Fellsworn Covenant crossbow. Fenrir's Bloodstained Fang, which is an agility dagger. Key to the Halls, intellect dagger. And Skovald's Resolve, which is a strength and intellect shield. And that pretty much covers the retail news. One last thing I wanted to mention is an upcoming WoW book that was discovered. It is called the Dragonflight Codex. The release date that's listed on this book is June 6, 2023. And it does look like it's going to be kind of like the counterpart of the Grimoire of the Shadowlands. It's going to have 100+ illustrations in it, some in-game knowledge, a comprehensive guide for the Dragonflight, and info on Dragon Isles. Some classic news. For starters, just another reminder that, Hallows End and Classic, and, we just got achievements in there. But the main thing that I wanted to mention is this new tab that you can get. So this is the Deadly Gladiators Tabard. And this never existed in original Wrath. So for collectors, this may be one that you want to go after. It's only purchasable during Arena Season 5, which is the current season right now. You will find it on 3 vendors. So in Dalaran, there's Nargle Lashcord. In Area 52, there's Keswick the Striker. And in Gadgetson, there's Argex Iron Gut. It's going to cost you 550 arena points, and it requires an arena rating of 2,300. If you're a Deadly Gladiator in Classic, definitely something you're going to want to get your hands on. I'm all for collecting stuff, but I don't really bother with Arena in Classic, Classic's a very casual for me. To be honest, I don't even know how much raiding I'm gonna get done. And there's definitely stuff I'd love to get out of the raids, but because I'm just so casual over there, I'm not too sure. But I can guarantee you I will not get this because getting an arena rating of 2,300 requires a little commitment, and we've got Dragonflight coming up soon here, so yeah. Plus, I'm a content creator. I feel like if you are able to hit that as a content creator, you've hired someone to edit your videos, because like you don't have time to really get up there when you spend so much time editing videos. And that's my life. I play WoW, and then I record my content, and then I spend like a lot of hours editing. And yeah, so I just don't have the time. But for those that do, it does exist. And I think it's a very cool that they have put something into Classic that did not exist back then. Even if I'm not going to be able to get my hands on it, it's still, you know, I have items myself that are bragging rights that you can't get in retail anymore. And those they're great to have, you know. It's nice to brag every once in a while. Brag about your accomplishments. Okay, so for my accomplishments and goals for this week, I did get my Zandalari warrior leveled in stream this past week, and we're still going. I started leveling the Kultiran, so I got her from like 10 to 22 the other day. And I'll probably have her 50, you know, you'll probably see that as an accomplishment in the next WoW Weekly, as well as the Nightborn, which I haven't actually started leveling. I've been leaving it for stream, and I just haven't done the next stream yet. I'm gonna, actually, that won't even be streamed till Thursday, because there's some other things I want to do. Like, the experience buff is important to me, but I still don't just drop everything and only level. So yeah. But that character will definitely get done this coming up weekend. And then I looted some mounts. So I was in Nighthold, and I got the mythic mount. So this is it here. I was really surprised. So hopefully now we can just get the green one and get out of there. The good part is the green one drops on normal, heroic, and mythic. So I've knocked out like the tougher one, the one that just drops on one difficulty. Yeah, so hopefully we get the green one soon, and I can just be done with Nighthold. And then I went to Zereth Mortis, because I've been putting off my rep for a while. I was one weekly away from being exalted for probably a good couple of months now, because I just don't go out there. And so I decided, you know, this week, you know, with the pre-patch coming soon and the release of Dragonflight right around the corner, I want my rep done, you know, so I don't have to worry about it. So I did that. I got the exalted, and that got me the A to Zereth achievement. So yeah, I finally got the Cryptic Aura Lid, which isn't bad. It looks a lot like my Deep Star mount that I got from Hiracon, or however you say his name. So it's like, it's okay, you know, it's just another mount of something I already have. So yeah, those were my accomplishments. So I thought that was pretty good, you know. Got another character to 60, got 2 mounts, finished my Zereth Mortis rep. I'm still gonna occasionally go after the Paragon Cache item that I need, but I just wanted like the rep kind of done, and you know, Paragon Cache can be done whenever. You know, I hate crafting those mounts anyway. And that is it for this week's WoW Weekly with Myst. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope you're having fun doing whatever you're doing. Hopefully you're getting excited for the pre-patch. And release is getting really close for Dragonflight. And yeah, let me know in the comments. Are you excited for the pre-patch? Are you ready for Dragonflight to release? You know, have you finished doing everything you need to do in Shadowlands? And we'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.